Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and welcome to the French Seams. Thank you very much for joining me for today's video. It feels like ages since I've been on here. In reality, it's about 2 weeks, but to me it feels like a long time since I've come on here and chatted to you all things sewing and knitting and crochet and all the crafty things. So there has been a slight hiatus. Basically, life got in the way. We were all traveling, then I was traveling, the boys were poorly, the usual stuff, but just life got in the way. But don't you worry, I've been sewing, I've been knitting, I've been buying stuff, I've been receiving stuff, all that good stuff. And I'm very, very keen to share it with you. So the stuff that I want to talk to you about has been building and building and building because I like to write everything down so I don't forget anything, because I like to chat to you about all the good things. So my list is quite long. So grab a cuppa or whatever is appropriate for your time of day. Buckle up, buttercups, and let's go. So scrolling back to the last video I had for you, which was a Friday Sews. This isn't going to be a Friday Sews. It's going to be a whenever I get around to edit this and release it kind of vlog, but never mind. So I want to say a huge thank you to all the love I received on my Avelia jacket, which was the jacket that I made in collaboration with the wonderful Melanie Keane. That was the Mood Fabrics Avelia jacket, which I just love, and thank you for all the lovely feedback on that. That was a wonderful collaboration. I had so much fun doing that collaboration with Mel. So if you hadn't seen her version, I'll pop her Instagram link below. Make sure to pop over and see it. It's just stunning. So I love doing that. The last time I was on here, I was talking to you about my bell dress, and this is the Style Arc bell dress, which I just love, and thank you again for all the love on this. This was my first Style Arc pattern, and I might dip my toe into Style Arc patterns more because I really liked this. I really enjoy the fit. I just love the kind of nature of it. So yeah, I might dip my toe into Style Arc patterns again, which I never ever thought I would say. So I wore this on a very rare date night with Mr. French Seams a little while ago. We went to see the comedian Dara O'Brien. So way back in the day, before children, myself and Mr. French Seams used to go to comedy shows all the time. There's very good comedy locations, gig locations in Dublin, the big ones and the small ones. We used to go see comedy gigs all the time. We love stand-up comedy, all that good stuff. And then life happens and you never leave the house again. But anyway, as luck would have it, Dara O'Brien was playing and we got tickets to go see him, and he was just brilliant. If you're not familiar, he's an Irish comedian, but he's now based in the UK. He's been on a number of TV shows. He was on the satirical show Mock the Week. He was on Taskmaster. If you're familiar, I love that show, so I was so excited Dara O'Brien was on that. And then he's got his own stand-up gigs as well, and they're excellent, and we hadn't seen him for a long time, so I was so excited to go to see him. Mr. French Seams snapped a little pic of me in my lovely dress. So one thing I did want to say, and I'd forgotten to mention to say this on my last vlog, and I did get a few questions about it, so apologies I didn't mention it. It was very hot that day. I was getting all hot and bothered. I forgot loads of stuff to tell you. I did sew down this placket here because a few people said that they had made it or they had seen it and they thought it's quite low, and it is quite plunging, don't get me wrong. So what I actually did was, I can pull this over my head because of the sheared back. So I actually, as it gets stuck on my lip gloss, I actually pinned this. I tried it on and pinned all the placket here, and I actually just pinned where I wanted. So this is actually entirely sewed down. So none of these are functioning buttonholes. I just sewed them directly on, and I think it's very nice because it doesn't gape, it doesn't do anything, and it stays where it's put, and it's a nice kind of, it's a nice modesty level, comfort level for me, shall we say. So that's how I got around the neckline of the bell dress. The other thing I wanted to mention about this was I altered the pockets of this, and I wonder, can I turn this inside out? I really can. So the pocket pattern piece of the bell dress comes like this. And I'd mentioned this before about how I alter the pockets on my dresses. So this is the pocket pattern piece, and these are the two notches that line up with the skirt pattern piece. So a little bit small, a little bit flappy. So what I do is, and can I turn this inside out? I really can. Bear with, it's a very large skirt. So this, and excuse all the shearing threads, this, and you probably can't even see it because it's so busy, this is my pocket here. And it's secured to the side seam, and it's also secured to the waist seam here. You can't see that because it's white thread. Take my word for it. So here is what I do. So here is the skirt piece. It's enormous. This is the front skirt piece of the Style Arc bell dress. And you can see here are the, did I mark them? This is the notch here, and this is the notch here for the pockets. So basically, according to what you should do with the pattern, you line up your two notches like this, and that's going to be your pocket right here. And of course you've got this big gap here, and it's going to be a bit flappy. The size of the pocket is okay for me. I can fit my phone, that kind of stuff, it's okay. I don't need to alter it that much. But here's what I do. So I get a piece of paper, and in this case 2 A4 sheets. I stuck it together. I line it up with the very, very top of the skirt, and I just kind of follow the line of the skirt here. I then see where the notches are, so I just mark those 2 in highlighter. So you line those both up, trying to do it looking at the camera. So there's your sheet of paper next to it. And then I lined up my pocket as I drop it. Oh dear. Oh, I'd never make it on TV, would I? So there is my pocket pattern piece, and then basically I draw around the bottom here. Here's your opportunity to make it wider if you want to. Draw in the pocket here, and then go straight up to the top here. And here's what you're left with. Here's one I prepared earlier, and this is your new pocket pattern piece. You can of course then cut that out, and that's your new pocket pattern piece. What I do then is I overlock all edges of the 4 pocket pieces, so you need 2 for each side. I overlock the side seams of the front skirt and the back skirt. Then you attach your pocket piece to your front skirt piece, you attach it to your back skirt piece as you would usually. Then what I do is I sew with a slightly smaller seam allowance here, because it just gives a nicer finish. And then you flap the pocket out effectively like this, and then you sew all around the pocket and all the way down the side seams of the skirt, and that then has your pocket attached to your skirt. Then what you do when you're attaching your bodice, you sew the whole of the front bodice to your bodice, or sorry, your whole of your front skirt pattern piece to your bodice, whatever you're making, and again for the back. And then when you're finished, you flap over the pocket piece onto the front, and then you just give an extra line of stitching here, so it's secured to the waist and it's a nice big long pocket. So I hope I've explained that. If not, if it makes absolutely no sense, please let me know in the description box below, and I'll try to explain it a little bit better. But that's how I secure mine to the waist seam. Obviously you have to be careful if you've got a very, very high-waisted dress, or things might look a bit odd, but just by and large that this works for me to extend the small pocket pattern piece to meet the waist seam of a skirt, and then it gives perfectly attached pockets. With that bell dress, it's quite floaty. I can still put my phone in that pocket because it's fully secured. It's great. So that's how I do my pockets. Right, so what have I been up to over the past few weeks? So I've been doing a little bit of purchasing, and I've received a little bit of happy post. So a few things that I've been purchasing. We have a shop here in Dublin, I think it's all over the place. It's called Saucer and Green, and they usually do home stuff or crafty stuff and things like that. But they do have a very, very small crafting section. And I bought double-sided tape, and I am so late to this party. I realise I'm so late to this party, but it's come in really, really useful with 2 things I've made this week, which I'll tell you shortly. So basically it's a strip, quite a narrow strip, which is very, very good. You stick it on, and then you peel off the top, and then you can attach your zip or your fabric or whatever you want to do. So this has been a game changer for my makes this week, and I'll show you shortly why. I also found these. They're little charms, and I thought they were really, really cute, and they're going to be put away safely for next year's So Fruity. So the tiny, tiny charms, there's a little, I think it's a peach, there's a little pineapple, and there's a little orange, and here is a little strawberry. So I thought they was really, really cute charms, and they're being put away until next June. Thank you very much, Yvette, for another fabulous So Fruity year. I'm going to put out a So Fruity reveal vlog. I know it's really, really late. It's the middle of July, but I love what I made. I really, really enjoyed it, and there's a few of my makes I do want to talk to you more about, and I think it would just clog up the Friday So's. So I'm going to give them their own platform, and I actually won a prize with So Fruity, which I'm so, so delighted about and very, very surprised. And I'm working with the sponsor now to get that shipped over, which is very, very exciting. So I'll talk more about that when it comes. The very, very kind sponsor was Cause Love, and it just looks, yeah, very, very excited and delighted to win a prize. So thank you very much, Yvette. You know I love that challenge. I really, really do. So watch out for that video coming to you soon. Put that here. So I also got some happy post with some new labels, and I got some Cozy Club handmade labels. And when I saw these advertised on Instagram, when Rachel put up a teaser of them, I had to buy them, and they arrived, and they're little seagulls, and it says, "Did somebody say chips?" I mean, how adorable are they? I just had to get them, so I'm so keen to put them in a summer make really, really soon. And then she was very, very kind. She always sends a lovely postcard, so you can see I've got my little postcard. I'm going to scooch over here. Shoes off, kettle on, it's sew time. And this time I got this one, which I've got the labels of these, which I use all the time. Basically, when mistakes are made, solutions can always be found. So I love that. So that's going to have pride of place as well. Thank you, Rachel. And she very, very kindly popped in 2 little labels as well. So actually that's a patch, this a label. This one says Ciao Bella, which is gorgeous. Love those kind of candy stripes. And then this one says Sprinkles of Love in Every Stitch. So very, very kind, Rachel, to pop in those 2 labels. Thank you very, very much. I also bought some bias binding. So I got 2 of the little wellies and umbrellas, which I think are adorable. That sums up really an Irish summer. And then this one, which is ice lollies and sand castles and sunglass and stuff. I think they are lovely. So can't wait again to put them in my summer mix. And I really wanted to buy these. Actually, I'll pop them out because they're going to be a bit shiny. These labels say always crafting, which I just love, so that can go in anything, which is great. And these little ducks, I mean, how adorable. I do have the matching binding to that. When did I have any left? Probably used it all actually. So they were my little bits of haberdashery that I received. I did get some more fabric, and how can I show you it? Oh, I'm all of a doodah, all of a doodah. I got this beautiful cotton from Rainbow Fabrics. I think, did I show you this before? I don't think I did. So this cotton fabric with sharks in it, which is in a make that I will show you very soon. And then I also received this fabric. So they were both from Rainbow Fabrics. So I'm a brand ambassador for Rainbow Fabrics. So if you use my code here, Rachel !VIP, that'll get you 20% off site-wide. So that's an affiliate link. Thank you very, very much. But in one of their recent drops, I got this beautiful viscose fabric. So it's kind of a minty green. It's actually it's a bit more lighter in real life. And so it's on a white background. It's a beautiful viscose, really nice. Not a kind of slippery viscose, but a nice kind of structured viscose. Really, really nice. What do I make with it? So I have been loving dresses recently. The weather in Dublin has been marvellous. I am so happy, and I've been wearing summer dresses all the time, which I love, because I make an awful lot of dresses, and they're usually with a thermal vest and tights and boots and a cardigan and a jacket and a scarf and a hat. So I am loving just wearing my dresses and wearing my sandals. It's been wonderful. So I'm thinking, do I just make another fringe dress? I love that dress so much. I recently did a collaboration with my wonderful, wonderful friends, Sam Solek Sparkle and Catherine Surbiton Makery. I'll pop in a picture here. We all made the fringe dress. And I'm wondering, see, I get an awful lot of wear out of the fringe. I probably would have to wear a slip under it, but that's fine. But I just think this would be perfect in a fringe. I think it's really bright, really summery. I did also recently get the Helen's Closet Orchard dress. I'll pop in the line drawings here. It's a free pattern. And I was wondering, would that be nice? But again, that's strapless, or not strapless, sleeveless. So I'm wondering, would I get more wear out of the fringe? So answers on a postcard or down below. Should this be another fringe dress? That will be fringe dress number 4. We shall see. Speaking of my lovely friend Sam and my lovely friend Catherine, if you saw over on Instagram, we are hosting a challenge together, which I'm so excited about. It's called So Phoenix September 2025, and I'll pop in the little picture here, and I'll link our little reel down below. It's not going to be until September, but we're just giving a little few teasers now. It's going to be a challenge that we're all putting together, so be sure to check that out. We're all very excited about it. So what else can I talk to you about? So that was what came into the sewing room. Will I talk about my makes? So I should talk about what I'm wearing first of all, and this actually, I call this my Catherine Surbiton Makery shirt. So it is a Liberty-esque fabric that I bought at the Knitting and Stitching Festival in Belfast last year, so last November. I just bought a metre from Stitch Fabrics, they're M. Rosenberg, and it's a beautiful print. It's little tiny blue flowers, and I think it's really pretty. And I just got a metre, and I just squeezed a dunny out of it with some incredibly creative cutting, and the inside back yoke is cut in 2 pieces. But nobody will know. So it's very difficult to see. So it's a Friday Pattern Company Donny shirt, which I've made now about 4 or 5 of. Lovely collar and lovely revere here that folds over. You can, of course, you can't see the stitching here at all. The front is actually cut on 2. You can't see that with the busy print. But I just love this pattern. I love it so much. I make a size medium. I add 2 inches to the bodice length because it does come up quite cropped, and I remove 1.5 inches from the sleeves. I like my sleeves quite short. I didn't use any interfacing because this is quite light, and I hadn't used interfacing in one of my last Donnies, and I thought it came out fine. So, and I like the kind of the nature of it. There's no stiffness or sturdiness to it, and it's just a lovely light summer shirt, and I just love it. I did pop in a label. It's a Cozy Club handmade one. It says beautifully handmade, which I love. And of course I'm wearing it with my Helen's Closet Arden pants because I wear them all the time. If I'm not wearing a summer dress, I'm wearing my Arden pants. So yes, absolutely love this. I think I'm really happy with it. It doesn't take long to make, and yeah, I just love this pattern. The other thing I got made up recently is my Groovy Betty, and this again is the fabric that I received from Rainbow Fabrics. It's a cotton poplin, and I made a Betty dress out of it. The pictures on Instagram are slightly delayed on this because I made it and then it was downstairs because I needed to iron it. And because I've just been dispensing Calpol, which is, you know, infant paracetamol, I spilled Calpol on it. I need to go straight in the wash again. So Calpol does come out with a 30-degree wash, so my little PSA. But yes, so I had to wait a while for this to be washed and dried and ironed again to be able to show you guys. But I absolutely love it, and I was able to wear it on an incredibly hot day. So push that over slightly. So this is the Sew Over Betty dress, which I've made a good few of. I really, really like. It's got a fitted bodice with bust darts and then darts at the waist, and then it's got darts at the back as well, and it's got an invisible zip. This one was better pattern matched, but I had to take it in ever so slightly at the back, so I kind of lost some of the pattern matching, but I think it's okay, and I think my invisible zip is pretty good. I make a size 10 grading to a size 12, and I add ½ inch to the bodice. It's got a fabulous full circle skirt, so it's cut in 2 on the back for your zip, and then it's meant to be cut on the fold for the front. This fabric is quite narrow, being cotton poplin, so I had to cut the front in 2 pieces. But I challenge you to spot where I did the pattern matching. So you can just about see it here, but I think that's pretty good. And you know why? It's because I had double-sided tape, and that's how I was able to get the pattern matching so good. Well, I think it's quite good. I'm very, very proud of it. I tried to get a full rainbow here, and I tried to get a full rainbow across the top as well. I'm very, very happy. This pattern is lovely. It's an oldie, but a very, very goodie, and I really like it. It has an all-in-one facing. So the facing here, it's all lined on the straps, and the facing just is on the inside like that. So if you know me, I don't like a facing, but I do like this because it's the all-in-one. It doesn't flap at all. It's fully secured, and it's secured into the back zip and everything. So I love the construction of this. I have actually used this in other makes of how to do an all-in-one facing. You can, of course, just draft your own, just do the front and back bodice to about here, and then join them together. But I really like the finish of it. It's all neat and tidy, all enclosed, and I think it's really, really nice. So I'll pop in a few twirly pictures of me here. Yeah, so much fun making this and so much fun wearing it as well. So yeah, it's just the coolest fabric, and I've seen a few people now make makeup garments in this. I know Julie, who sews her own clothes, she made a Starlock bell dress in this fabric, and it is spectacular. It's absolutely gorgeous. So this is my Groovy Betty, so I was delighted to get that made up. What else have I been doing? I am working on my sepia pants. So where did I put them? I've got so much in my sewing room. It needs a good tidy. I'll just dig around down here, shall I? So here they are. So if you cast your minds back, I had made the sepia shorts as a little test. So the sepia are, I'll pop in the line drawings here. They're a pattern by Closet Core, and I won a Closet Core pattern from Sew Skin Summer. So how lucky am I that I've won 2 challenges recently? And I decided to buy the sepia pants. So I made pajama shorts, so I'll pop in a picture here. Really love them. This beautiful fabric from Rainbow Fabrics. Again, it's a linen look cotton, which is lovely. So, and I really, really like them. So I wanted to make another pair. So I bought this fabric from the Crafty Studio. It's a beautiful stripy, cottony seersucker kind of thing, but it is beautiful. So I decided to make up the trousers. So I'm pretty much done. So I put on the back pockets on the cross. I'm quite happy with my pattern matching here. I spent a lot of time pattern matching stripes, but on the front I said I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do them on the grass grain. So here are the 2 pockets. I didn't put the 2 pockets on my pajama shorts. I just put 1. I don't think you necessarily need the 2 pockets personally, and they say that it kind of gives the impression of a floating seam kind of thing. Yeah, jury's still out on that. It's a very, very nice feature, and it might look nicer in a plain, but I think it's just, I love a pocket, don't get me wrong, but it's probably just 2 pockets too many for me. I think 1 is perfectly sufficient. I'd use the shorter one, I think. But it's really, really fun. So you got a big pocket here and a big pocket here. One thing they have you do in the pattern piece, which I really, really like, is this corner here is mitered. So the pattern piece, if I have it here, I do, because I didn't tidy anything away. Here's one of the pattern pieces. It gives you this dot here, and this pocket is angled like that, and you fold it in and it gives a mitered corner, and it's really, really nice, because sometimes when you do pockets like this, there's always a bit of kind of fraying and it's not perfect on the corner, but this gives a beautiful finish. And I was making these when I was making the curtains for the kitchen downstairs, if you remember, and I actually mitered the corners on those because I had it on my head, and it gives such a beautiful finish. So I'll pop the link below of how you can miter your own corners on a different pattern as well, so I'll link below where I use that. So here are the front pockets. Then I've got my waist. I haven't really, I'm just kind of testing out the elastic. This is the beautiful elastic I got a few weeks ago from Vibes and Scribes. It's boxer elastic, it's lovely. So just figuring out the size of that, and then I'll sew those in. And then I did the barrel leg. So if I pull these up, they're not finished. So this is the front. So you've got a dart here on the front leg. Then you've got a dart on the back as well. And then you've also got a dart on the back knee. So there's your little dart. Where's it gone? Oh, I've lost it. There we go. There's your dart on the back knee as well. So it gives a really, really nice shape. The only thing I have left to do is they have back and front facings for the end of the ankle. So I just need to finish that bit off. So that's going to give it a lovely, lovely finish at the bottom as well. So I am testing the sizing of these. I'm testing the length of the leg. I think I might need to add more length to the leg again. I already have. The one thing I did do, I lowered the rise again, and I think I probably lowered it too much. But what I did was I did a size 14 at the waist and then grading to a 12 from the hips on. Because this sits much, much lower my waist, I think I need to grade out again. Because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let out the seam allowance a tiny bit, because you want a bit of gathering, want a bit of kind of paper bag-esque on the waist. But because it falls much, much lower on my waist, that's much, much larger than my waist, so it's not getting that good an effect. But I think this is going to look really cute with a little white t-shirt, maybe a little pink cardi or something. But yeah, so work is ongoing on my sepia pants. So the last thing I got sewn up over the past few weeks, and I love them, and they are little backpacks for baby French seams and for older French seams. So I had to make two. You can't get away with making just one in this house. There needs to be fairness, equality, all that good stuff. So this is the Adam Sews Acorn backpack. You know I love Adam Sews patterns. I've made a good few of his. In my opinion, this is probably my favourite. Honourable mention to his caddy. I love that. But this backpack, I just love it, and the boys love them. So this is, and where did I put it again? I've lost it again. It's lined in the shark fabric from Rainbow Fabrics, and then on the outside this is the Lego, or the brick fabric, and this is from Crafty Studio. I quilted it. I quilted all the panels. It's got the nice little foam inside. I get the foam from Quilter and Stitch. So, and this is the backpack. So really cute, really chic. They have been using them already. We went for a walk yesterday. They brought their teddies, and it fits loads. So it's got the nice acorn shape at the front. All my zips are from Crafty Studio, little rainbow zips, a couple from Amazon on the inside. Lovely rainbow zips here. They chose all the zips. So it wouldn't necessarily be to my colour palette, but they wanted these zips. So black with rainbow here, and this one has white with rainbows. They're both from Crafty Studio. This is this is Baby French Seams one. He wanted a little frog zip pull, and Older French Seams has a little kind of oil slick bunny. They're both from Studio 77. So that's the outside, so you've got a lovely zip. That's all quilted on the inside as well. Then the inside is all lined with the sharks, and then I put these really, really cool labels on the inside. So I'll put in a picture of what they look like properly, but they're beautiful labels from Specky Seamstress, and it just says this belongs to. So I did my Sam satin stitch on this. This one is planets, and then this one has forgotten what this one has, flowers, I think. This one has flowers there, so I'm just going to write their names on the inside. The inside again has a zip. That one is just from Amazon, and then that's lined on the inside as well. So that's just an inside security pocket, which is really nice. They both have top zips, and they're rainbow again, and they just have gold zip pulls. You get two zips at the very, very top. On the back, you've got your little hanging loop, your little acorn top. Then I've got a label made by Mummy on both of them. I think they're little rosy cheeks. Then I love the construction of the shoulder straps. I think these look really, really nice. They're fully quilted, lined as well. And then you put on your webbing and you bind them as well and round off the corners. I think that gives a lovely finish. Then you've got your webbing and your clasp. And then you've got these lovely little anchors down the bottom. Difficult to see there. Can you see the little triangle anchor with the D-ring that slots in there? So really, really nice. All my hardware is from Quilter and Stitch. The webbing and the lobster clasps, all that good stuff is from Quilter and Stitch as well. They have a fabulous selection of bag hardware. Because these are for my two boys, I reduced the shoulder strap by about 4 inches, and I reduced the webbing by about 9 inches. And this now fits them perfectly, and it has plenty of growing room as well, which is great, and they absolutely love them. So these are my two little backpacks. It is fully bound on the inside. I'm not going to lie, my binding is not good. So I'm going to give you a very vague look at it. You can see I did it in kind of gingham, so it gives a nice kind of chevron. My binding is it's not great. I'm going to take full accountability for that. However, I'm going to slightly blame my tool, not necessarily my dodgy binding. My machine doesn't like going through this many layers of foam. It just doesn't, and I've known that for a long time. And I was thinking of hand stitching it, but even that would have been tricky. What I'm blaming is, this is my 1/4 inch foot, which I use all the time. So it's got your little marker there to put your 1/4 inch against, which I use this for quilting, and I use it for binding quilts, and it's always really good. However, and if I can point this bit here from the little hole for the needle to here is very, very wide. And that's the bit that gets stuck when you're binding against the edge, and I can't get in close enough. That's my excuse. Let's see how many people buy that excuse. But yes, the binding isn't wonderful, but it's relatively functional and it looks quite pretty. But yeah, very, very happy with these. And I have 2 very, very happy customers, and I think they look adorable. So yes, hugely recommend this pattern. There's written instructions and there's video instructions. I used a combination of both depending on what I was doing. Very, very good. I'll link it below. I'll link Adam's shop below. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Really love this, and I think they're quite involved in, because I was making 2 at a time, but I think they're just fabulous. I just think they're so cute, and I can see myself making more as the boys grow older. So on the vein of that, oh yes, and that's where I used my double-sided tape as well, because I was doing so many zips, you know, because this bit is bound here and you attach it to the zip, then this bit up here is bound, you attach it to the zip. I was using my double-sided tape for that, which was marvellous. The other thing I was using for it is, and I'll show you this in a very non-threatening manner, is my awl. And I've lost the cap, so it's a little bit dangerous. But this is my tailor's awl. You call it a stiletto, whatever you like, and this is brilliant for doing binding. And I have mentioned it before, and somebody mentioned could I show them how I do it. So I'll pop a little video that I took here when I was attaching the binding to the zip. So sorry, binding to the top of the panels. So basically you attach your binding on the wrong side at a scant 1/4 inch, and then you fold it over to the right side, and then you top stitch all that bit down there. And how I use this is, and I clip it first, I then push, because it's got a very, very sharp edge, I push the fabric in, and it gives a very, very neat line, and you can kind of pull the fabric up and you can see where your existing stitch line is, and pull this ever so slightly over so you always meet your line of stitching, and that way when you flip it over to the reverse, you've got your line of stitching on your binding, not on your fabric, and it works beautifully. And I wouldn't be without this. I think it's fabulous. And I've tried, I usually use a seam ripper or my fingers, but this works beautifully. So I would highly recommend one of these. I think, again, I either got this from Vibes and Scribes or Quilt Yarn Stitch. I'll link both below, but it is just invaluable. I love it, and perfect for attaching binding. This binding, not necessarily this binding, but we'll talk no more about that. Apologies, Adam. I did try my best. So they were my backpacks. So that is what I've been getting up to. Right, I'll keep going. Apologies if I'm keeping you very, very long from your very busy day. What else have I been doing? I joined the Thready Set Go, which I'm so excited about. So I followed Hayley, so Hayley Jane, for a long, long, long time. She did her subscription boxes, all that good stuff. I followed along with her journey for a long time. So she's now stopped doing the boxes, but she started up a kind of a social side of it, which is called Thready Set Go, and they do monthly patterns. You get discounts, and you get about 3 socials a week. You can do an addition of extra kind of tutorials, things like that. Then every month they have a little social with the designer, or recently they did the Falconer pants, and they had Kate from the Fold line, they had Helen from Helen's Closet, they had Jen from Generates. All these people join, and you can join as well. And I had a quick look, and it looks fabulous. So it's quite very, very reasonable every month, and then you get an opportunity to join in the socials. There's a Saturday or a Sunday one, I think, and then a Wednesday morning, Wednesday evening. I was able to join the Saturday morning one last week or the week before, and it was just lovely. So we were split into a few groups, and I knew a few people when I got there, and we were split into a few kind of breakout groups and had the chats. I wasn't able to join for the whole thing just because between classes and whatnot, but I was really, really keen to jump on and say hello. So I had started my backpacks on that, and it was just a lovely, lovely way to spend a morning. Lovely chats, very, very lovely sewing people. It was just really nice. So I'm going to keep that up, and I'm hoping to join as many of the social sessions as I can, and maybe next month I'll join in with the pattern, all that good stuff. But it's really, really good fun. I'll link those details below. What else? Yes, the sewing bee is starting on Tuesday, folks. Are we all really, really excited? I cannot wait. It's been a very long time coming this year. Usually it should be well over and done with by July, but very, very excited. Again this year, my lovely friend Sam Sola Sparkle is going to be doing her kind of catch-ups the day after. So she has released a Meet the Bees, which I'll link below, but be sure to hop on over to her channel and subscribe, all that good stuff, so you get notified when she puts out her weekly sewing bee vlogs. They are always fabulous. I really, really enjoy them. So they were my plans. So that's what I've been getting up to. From my plans, I need to finish my sepia pants, and then I need to start on something very exciting. So again, from Rainbow Fabrics. So because I just put out some beautiful stuff recently, I got this, and there's quite a bit of it, and it's very, very heavy. This is a stretch cotton, I think, so it's quite weighty. It's actually heavier than I thought it was going to be, but I still think it's going to work for the project I have in mind. And I would like to make a cord out of this. And this is for the Sew Together for Summer Co-ord challenge. And it's Jen. I'm going to have to find out the names. I'm sorry, they've totally escaped my mind. Right, I just had to go and check that because I don't want to get it wrong. It's Jen from Jen Leg, and it's also hosted by Susie from Sewing in Spain. So they've done this a few years in a row, basically sew something for summer. I've joined in the past couple of years. It's really, really good fun. This year is a cord. So I have never sewn a cord, and I think now is the opportunity. So basically, you sew a coordinating set, be it a shirt and shorts or a top and a skirt or whatever you like, but it has to be in the same fabric. Release it anytime during July, and there's going to be fabulous prizes. So thank you very much, ladies, for doing this challenge once again. It's great fun. So this is going to be so far out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone is going to be a dot on the horizon, but I'm going to do a cord in this amazing fabric. So it's got prawns, it's got lobsters, it's got wine, it's got olives, it's got lemons. It has just everything Rachel loves on this, and it says Dolce Vita. So it's quite stretchy, it's quite sturdy. However, I'm going to make another pair of sepia trousers, because once I get the fit on those, I think this will be quite nice. And then I'm going to do a shirt, and I'm going to do the Helen's Closet Gilbert shirt, which I've made twice before, and I did the tie front, but I'm going to leave off the tie front and I'm going to leave it unbuttoned and maybe put on a little top underneath. But there's plenty of choice, so I could wear a red one, I could wear white, I could wear pink, I could wear green. So that is going to be my cord. So I'm really excited to get that started. I don't have much time left, so I want to get cracking on that very, very soon. But I think this is going to be a really, really fun coordinating set. Again, the line between it looking a bit pyjama-y and looking really, in the words of Tyra Banks, high fashion. We will see how it goes, but watch this space. So that's going to be my vague plans for the next few weeks, I think. So that basically is me caught up, and thank you very, very much for staying this long if you have. I haven't even a clue how long I've been nattering on, but thank you very much. As you can tell, I've got an awful lot to catch you up on. I will say goodbye for now, unless you have any interest in knitting and crochet. If you have no interest in knitting and crochet, that's absolutely fine. I will let you go, and a huge thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very lovely week, and I will catch up with you again very soon. But if you are interested in knitting and crochet, stay tuned. So, knitting. I got new wool, and I have started my 4th pair of socks. So I got wool recently in This Is Knit. They're a beautiful wool shop in Dublin, and it's again the West Yorkshire Spinners self striping, which I love, and this time it's in peacock, and I am quite far now. I did these recently on a flight. I went on a little flight to the UK very recently, and I was able to, on the flight over, do one heel and on the way back to the other heel, which was just marvellous. So this is the exact same pattern that I did, or the heel pattern that I did in my last version, but the one that I had such trouble with, but now I know what I'm doing. But I wanted to see what it looked like in self-striping, and I quite like how it came out. So it's got the lovely kind of texture here, which is knit one, slip one. And then on the edge, how do I show you this properly? It's got the heel flap and the heel gusset, all that good stuff. So it's not the kind of the short rows. So it's slightly different, but I'm really, really liking how it came out. I just did a plain vanilla. I just want to see what it looked like. So I'm almost there. So this is how far I've got. This is my heel here. So I'm just going to keep going, and then I'm going to try out a 2x2 rib. I did a 1x1 rib the last time, but I want to see what a 2x2 looks like, and then I'll do the magic bind off as well. So this is where I'm at with my socks. It was very funny when I first cast these on. I only had 2 little small socks like this, and my husband was like, "Why are you knitting a bikini?" Like, no, it's not a bikini for so many reasons. They're socks. So this is how far I've got on my socks, which I love. I need to have these finished very, very soon, because are we ready for trick-or-treating? This is the Serdar Trick-or-Treat Crochet Along. I've said it so many times. I did the summer blanket earlier a few weeks ago, and I absolutely loved it. And as soon as we were finished, they teased the Halloween, and I thought, I'm going to have to get the Halloween. My boys love Halloween. They really, really do. So, and I have very discerning clients. We've already discussed slight changes. I'll pop on what the blanket looks like here. They weren't too keen on the eyeballs, so I'm going to do a bit of jiggery pokery between the pumpkins and the eyeballs and substitute in little tiny bats. I think we've had a few consultancy kind of chats, and they've let me know their requirements, and I'll see how I can accommodate that. But no, my boys love Halloween. It's got a beautiful kind of spider web border, which I think would look lovely as bunting as well, but it's a really, really fun pattern. So this is how it comes, all the beautiful colours, loads and loads of balls of wool. It's just double knit, and then it also comes with Russell. Of course, you get your lovely patch, your trick-or-treat patch, which is just wonderful sewing on when you're done. Then it also comes with a little needle, which is really handy to sew on all your ends and maybe sew on some of the applique. I use just a metal one, but of course this plastic one is much, much better. And then it does come with stitch markers, and they're in orange and black, which is really, really cool. I have a couple of knitting stitch markers, but I used all of them on the blanket last time because I think you start off with, is it 171 stitches or something, and I couldn't keep counting to 171 every time. So having those stitch markers, one of which I've just dropped, is going to really, really help because I can do them at regular intervals, and it's going to save me having to count in my brain again, which is great. So I got that kit from the Crafty Studio. They were very low stock when I checked before. I'll link it below, but run, don't walk if you do want a kit. But it's absolutely fabulous. It's starting on the 23rd. I do have my little Instagram group, which was called the Summer Crochet Along, and it's now just been renamed as the Serdar Crochet Along because I think this will just keep on going. If you would like to join that, if you have any interest in doing the Halloween one, or if you're still doing the summer one, whatever you like, please let me know below, or better still over on Instagram, and I can add you to the group. It's such a supportive, such an encouraging group. It's fabulous. A wide range of expertise, a wide range of experience, but it's a wonderful, wonderful group. And I was just laughing because if we're doing Halloween now in July, that feeds nicely into finishing maybe kind of September time, and then you know what's going to be released. Yes, I won't talk about it, but you can imagine I'm very excited about that as well. So that is my crochet and my knitting and my sewing updates. Thank you very, very much as always for joining me. I love having the chats with you here. If you liked this video, I'd very much love it if you give me a thumbs up, and also please consider subscribing. I love making these videos. I love having the interaction. Please leave me a comment in the comment box below about anything I've spoken about, if you need further clarification on anything, or if you just like to tell me what you're working on and where in the world you're coming from. So I shall leave it there for now. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely week of sewing or crafting, whatever you're into yourself, and I will come back to you again very, very soon in another video. Take care, everyone. Bye.